I'm Mitch.
And I'm Jamie.
We're the King Blues on the Kerrang podcast. Kerrang! 5 Bottles of Shampoo was kind of... It's a poem about... I guess kind of women get a bit of a hard time in rock and roll sometimes, and in music in general, and it's kind of one to... I guess the whole idea behind this record was that people will listen to it and feel empowered and feel like they can change the world and feel like, you know, if there's like a 15-year-old kid in his bedroom who feels rejected and feels like, you know, he's ostracized and feels alone, that he can hopefully hear this record and believe in himself and believe that he has the power to do anything, you know. And I guess 5 Bottles of Shampoo was another one of those kind of songs where we really wanted to make people feel empowered and really feel positive. And it's just written about women really, and my kind of my take on, I don't know, I mean, I guess in the song I explain that I definitely do not understand women or claim to in any way, shape or form, do you know what I mean? But it's just my kind of honest take on women. I think girls like it as a rule, do you know what I mean? The girls liked it, but you know, there's been a lot of boys as well who have been like really sort of taken to it just as much. Weirdly,
I think there's been it's been kind of cool because it's been when it performs it live, you know, sort of we watch from the side of the stage, and I watch him do it every night, and it's kind of like you see the emotional response automatically in the girls and the women, and it's like that's kind of amazing. And there's something I think they really do enjoyed the track, but it's weird with the guys, because I think there's a lot of guys out there that hear it and agree with it and maybe have been sort of scared of coming across like, well, I don't know, like, you know, not like a tough guy or something like that, but they do really actually respect it and they believe the lyric, and it's kind of cool to see that as well.
Sex education is kind of about how, like, by the time you get your first sex education class, at however old you are, you've probably seen like 2 girls and 1 cup 3 times already. Do you know what I mean? You've probably seen some gnarly shit. Do you know what I mean? And then they're coming out and telling you about how to put on a condom or whatever, and it's like, by that point, do you know what I mean? You've probably done it already. So it's not making a judgment either way, and it's not saying like, it's not like a protest song or anything. It's just an observational kind of, well, this is how it is. Do you know what I mean? Kind of song. Shooting Fascists was kind of, you know, I think we saw the BNP and the EDL marching behind Union Jacks, and the right have kind of adopted the Union Jack as their little, as a symbol that's now almost become like this right-wing thing, when, you know, that wasn't what our grandparents fought for. Our grandparents fought a war so that we could live in a country of tolerance and of peace where we can kind of get on with each other. And now they're kind of trying to twist it around into something else. And I think, you know, the underlying important message is that our grandparents didn't vote for fascists. They, you know, they fought them, they shot them, they made sure, they stamped it out with an iron fist. This would not be happening here. And it's kind of, it's an important thing for us to remember. I think especially in a time when we've got David Cameron coming out and talking about how multiculturalism supposedly isn't working, because, you know, he'd like nothing more than for us to be pointing the finger at each other and blaming each other rather than realising the problem lies above with him. And yeah, Shooting Fascists is just kind of, I guess, our answer to that. Headbutt is just like a simple punk love song, do you know what I mean? It's just like a straight up 3-chord, summery, jump up, energetic punk love song, you know?
Yeah, punk rock love, as a casualties would have put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, it's quite a fun song to play, and like it was real fun to record because it was like proper sort of Ramone style guitars, like all downstrokes, and just it was loads of fun to do, you know, and it was just like it's probably one of my favourite songs I think we've ever done, definitely. No.
Next, okay, it's kind of like it's about the underdogs. It's about the government that we're in really are not caring about the smaller people in society, about those, you know, about the homeless, about the poor people. But you know, the fact of the matter is that we're the majority. The minority are the rich, the minority are those who are in charge, the minority are those who are getting let off, and the majority are being screwed over. And it's about really, it's about resistance, and it's about, you know, these different groups of society coming together and realizing that when we come together we're strong, and that's how we can kind of empower ourselves, and making a real resistance and a real fight back to the government. You know, we every time we've seen a Tory government, they've tried to push in many different bills and many different laws, and these laws, once they're in, they don't get repealed. You know, we fought hard to have the freedoms that we have in this country. We fought really hard, and it would be a real shame if under the guise of something else, new laws were brought in that were really crippling us, and were only benefiting those at the top of the ladder. And in order for there to be a top of the ladder, there needs to be those at the bottom holding them up, and that's kind of the way it works. They need us down here. They need for there to be poor people. They need for us to be cleaning up their muck so that they can do what they do, you know. And it's kind of about trying to redress that balance, but also not just trying to kind of make people aware of it, but to make people believe that, you know, if we stand together, we can fight this and we can win this, and we've won this before. We've won this many times. As a country, we have a rich history of resistance and of fighting back, and yeah, it's a battle that I believe that we can win, and a battle that's certainly happening. Yeah, that was kind of... Does anybody care? I think musically it was more like we were taking the kind of Elvis Costello, a bit of Green Day, a bit of even like One Man Army, you know, a bit of kind of blue collar,
kind of, yeah, that sort of street punky,
yeah,
but like that
melodic
sort of,
street punk kind of thing,
that sort of mid-pace feel,
yeah,
punk, like that kind of, and it was a lot of fun. It's definitely got the most chords in it of any song we've ever written. There's at least
like
5,
4 or 5,
yeah, at least 5. But like, it was cool, you know. We kind of took, like, we sort of wanted to do. There was a lot of fast stuff on the record, and we wanted something. Yeah, it just had a bit of that kind of, yeah, sort of one man army kind of swagger, I guess, and that's sort of what we come up with.
Everything That's for Reason is just about, you know, us becoming dads, man, and like, just, it's kind of the personal one at the end. I kind of tried purposely. I didn't want to do what, you know, I think there's a Motley Crue album where one of them does a song about his son or something. It's god awful, yeah. And I really didn't want to write one of those. I didn't want it to be like too schmaltzy or whatever. I wanted it to be honest, and I wanted it to be kind of warts and all, and show that, you know, becoming a father is a great thing, and being a parent's a great thing, but it's scary, and there's times when you freak out and you're not sure what's going on, you're not sure if you can handle it, and I think it was important to put in the panics and the fears that we had as well as just the good stuff. Do you know what I mean? To really create an honest picture that hopefully, you know, that people could relate to. And we just thought, if we just put everything out there and don't hold back and don't worry if, you know, when they're older they're going to look back and hate us for it or whatever, but just genuinely honest about it, that hopefully people will kind of will take to it, and I think it may have worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the songs that that's, I guess, survived, if you will, on the record from the original record we were planning on writing, and like, you know, much more as a sort of, as we said before, like a much more personal and introspective record. And I just felt, I remember when we had, you know, whenever we do a record, we have all the songs we want to go on written on the wall, and we pick songs and we try and work it out. And there was a point where I think we were sort of umming and ahhing over everything happens for a reason, whether it should go in the record or not, or whether it was too personal, whether it didn't fit in. And I just felt like, I think in all of our hearts, it was kind of like the lyric is just too good, you know, and we had to have it on the record. It was like, it's I don't know, there's something very special about that song for me, and like, I've noticed as well, people sort of who've got the record, they've really taken to that song as well, which is really nice to see. But musically, it was kind of fun. It was like, because it took so many different twists and turns, and we started
off just acoustic,
and then it was like we did like a sort of reggae version, and then we just, I don't know, it just felt a bit slow, and we just thought, you know what, it needs a little bit of, well, you know, a bit of oomph behind it, and it came out a little bit Generation X-y, but that's okay. That's never cool. A bad thing. But yeah, that's that.